Good morning, everybody. It's me, Coffee Stitcher. It's Sunday. I have my coffee in a San Diego mug because the weather here is very San Diego-y. So, happy October! It's October already. Who knew? I hope everyone's having a great start to their October. The Queen of the Ravens housewarming party is in full swing over on Stitch Mania. Some people are really kicking butt on her. Some are doing other Halloween-themed projects like myself because I didn't get it kitted up. Um, Jessie Marie and Blimey Cat both came up with some really crazy, awesome ideas. Um, those two probably should never get together in person because I don't think the world is ready for that. Um, or maybe it is. Maybe they're exactly what the world needs. It's a thought. So I worked on Scream House because that's my first of the month stitch along, and then I'm going to be starting it on Poe, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So it's Wicked Witch October, so you'll get to see the first of my 4 Wicked Witch selections, which was actually harder than I thought it would be because I was trying to come up with what might be interesting or different. Again, more on that to come. I've got a small non-cross-stitch related but still interesting project to show. I've got 2 WIP updates, a little tiny bit of haul. I did not get Stitchy Box yet. According to tracking, it's supposed to be here tomorrow, so I figure probably in the middle of like Friday it'll actually show up, because that's how USPS is with me. But don't worry, the video is coming once I actually get Stitchy Box. And then I have a request too. So I guess I'll start with the request, and then go from there. First, another sip of coffee. Has everyone watched Hocus Pocus yet? I'm ashamed of every one of you who hasn't. Seriously, I'm gonna watch that movie at least once a week between now and Halloween. Yeah. So, I guess we'll start with the request. As some of you have heard me mention, and some of you probably remember from Jessie Marie throwing down the gauntlet, I've been working on a small 3-part project. However, I'm not going to be able to do the model stitch on it yet. And I feel like because I don't trust necessarily the colors that Max Stitch gives and puts on the screen being true to DMC, I feel like I really need to do a model stitch. So, I don't have the money to be able to supply you with the supplies. I would love to, but I just don't. But if someone out there would like to be the model stitcher, it's a fob, a needle book, and a small sampler. Or if someone wants to just do the fob, or someone wants to just do the needle book, and someone wants to do the sampler, some combination thereof, let me know. Just shoot me a message on Facebook, and we'll get going on that, because I really want to have a model, at least the image of a model stitch first, before I put this out there for the world, because if this ends up looking terrible when it's stitched, then I don't want to release it. So, and I'm real hesitant. I agonized about should I ask someone or not, and it's coming down to I would like to do it myself, but I don't have the time with what I've got going on that I want to get finished, but I want to get this out there while I'm still kind of motivated to design. So if anyone is willing, please shoot me a message, and we'll discuss. So yeah. So that's my request. All right, so the first thing is going to be this little guy. I went through a phase right before I discovered cross stitch of making felt things. I made a whole bunch of felt dolls, and I made this little dude. It is a Halloween house. The roof is removable. Just a little small. Yeah, there's nothing on the bottom. It was a lot of fun to make, And actually, I really enjoy working with felt. The big problem is it's just so messy, and it ruins scissors like that. Um, so I do enjoy the felting. I've got some dolls that I may show at some point, and they're on my Facebook page if anyone's actually curious. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it, but that was messy. And that's the main reason why I don't do it anymore. Cross stitch is comparatively less messy, and honestly, I need to clean badly. So yeah, so there we go. So that's sort of that. But I got it on Etsy. And it's really cute, and since it's Halloween, you know, my frosted pumpkin, Mysterious Halloween Town, is currently on the sideboard in the kitchen where everybody can see it, flanked by Vampire Mickey and Witch Minnie from the Itty Bitty collection. Um, oh, and I should probably put Vampire Shaggy and Scooby out there. Maybe Scooby's a witch. I don't remember. Scooby may be a witch too. So, but yeah. Um, what a lum. So, there went my train of thought. Um, all right, so I guess we'll do the WIPs. Um, so the first thing, which I know everyone is dying to see, is how far did Garrett get on his chatelaine? I have some very good news. I almost finished part 5. So there we are. All that's left is another anemone and an alabaster. And then we've got the shells and its little doobies at the 4 points, and then beading. So there we go. I don't like Jessica stitches. I don't know if they get easier or not, but I'm not a fan of those so far. I am going to go ahead and leave the waves open. I think that's going to be totally fine. But I got a lot more done than I expected I would. I had a lot of fun doing the starfish. So yeah, so there we go. This will be put away until November, possibly the end of October. I have to finish. My goal this month is to finish Poe, which we'll talk about in a second. So if I do get that finished this month and there's time left over, then I'm gonna go ahead and return to the chatelaine. Regardless, she will be finished in November. I'm that close, and I don't think it's going to take me that much more time. I figure I've probably got a day or two, a good day or two left of stitching, and then the beading will probably take about 2 days. For that, I get to get my scroll frame back out. I think. We'll see. Probably will need the scroll frame. But then it'll be finished, and then I have to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with it, because it goes with nothing in our house or in my grandmother's house. But I feel like it should be framed. I put a lot of work into that. And then I'm also just really excited to have those flosses in my stash that I can use for other things. Including a totally unused skein of the Princess Pearl, which I may see if my LNS will let me swap, because I don't really like using the pearl all that well. I may see if they'll let me swap it for the same color in regular Gloriana, because I really love the color. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so the next thing is I did my next panel on Scream House. It's the spooky tree. The description says, the back of the house is pretty dark and creepy, and there are lots of scary sounds. The tree is very old, and the branches scratch eerily against the house. There sure seems to be another monster waiting to pounce from behind the tree, and we are not sure what is living in the tree, but it has big yellow eyes. Nettie's ancestor, Ida May Gone, is buried beneath the tree. The ghost is riding around behind Ida's tombstone, making booing noises to scare off the crow, who is not moving. The ghost in the tree is hiding from the monster, and the bat is just trying to look spooky. And the roof piece above that has a ghost. So I now have all 4 outer walls finished. The only real change I did on this one was I gave the crow a French knot for an eye. But otherwise, this one's actually exactly how it was charted. I didn't make any mistakes, which makes me very happy. So we've got all 4 of those. Next month will be the first 2 roof pieces, probably the ones there and there. Because the thing is you do either 1 wall or 2 roof pieces. So I'll do 2 roof pieces. It'll be the one with the cat and the one with the crow. And then the last thing, then I'll do the next 2 roof pieces, and then I'll do the 2 floor pieces. The interior and the exterior, and then the interior, and then I'll be on the interior of the house. So it's getting close, really getting going. So yeah, I'm still having a lot of fun on it. Fortunately, the roof pieces aren't overly detailed. So I will most likely be able to get those done with, if not, depending on when the first of the month is, obviously November 1st, I'm not going to get probably anything done, but they should be done in about 2 days. I don't expect they'll take longer than 2 days to whip those out. So there's that. Oh, I didn't show my little stash. And then we'll move on. So the haul was the September Fabric of the Month from Die Stitch Love. It's Demeter's Harvest, very nice and fall colory. I don't know what I'll put on it, but it's pretty. So for a moment there, I thought, and it's just actually how it's dyed, but I thought I'd gotten coffee on it. I was like, what? When did I spill coffee? What? But although I did have this sitting on the kitchen counter last night. It doesn't smell like coffee, so it's probably not. Welcome to my world. All right, so next up is going to be Master and the Macabre. Let me grab my chart. Now, I've done the top half with kind of the exception the Ravens on the top half, but I'll be working on him when it gets over to it. So there's really not all that much left, because I actually did have dipped down into it some. But the top half is done. So I've basically got from here on the house down and then all of this. So that would be the back. So there we go. There's where we're at. I don't think I'm going to have any problem finishing it this month. So I'm really excited to get it back on the Q-Snaps. I believe Katie told me that it's actually on sale this week on 123 Stitch. So if you're in the first full week of October when you're watching this and you like this chart, it's on sale on 123 Stitch. So it's almost done. So because there's not any more really big rows of solid cross-stitch fill. Most of the rest of this is all going to be pretty simple, so it should stitch pretty quick. Yeah, I'm super excited. it'll be nice to have it done. And then this poor bag that it's been in can be retired because it's been beaten to shreds. Not quite, but it's getting there. So that is the start of the plan there. So we're going to do that, and then like I said, if I finish early, I will go back to Octopus, or I don't think I have any other Halloween projects kitted up. Oh wait, yes I do. I have that Drawn Thread one that I started and never finished. Don't really know why I didn't finish it, but I've got that somewhere around here. I have it, and I can finish that too. Ooh, and then I have 2 finishes for the month. I could get behind that. So, all right. So that brings us to Wicked Witch October. To do and we'll do a little bit of discussion on the Wicked Witch before I show off what I've got. The Wicked Witch of the West is, to most people's mind, the primary antagonist in the Oz series. Mostly because of the MGM film. She really isn't a major figure in the first book. I mean, she is. She's got about 2 chapters devoted to her, because Dorothy is sent to kill the Wicked Witch, and so she dominates the chapter with the flying monkeys and the chapter with where the flying monkeys eventually come and take Dorothy and the lion. And then obviously the chapter in her castle she dominates. But she never returns. She never shows back up. And once she's dead, she's dead. The MGM movie expanded her part, bringing her in to give the film an antagonist. Because while in a book you can get away with that, in a film you really need more of the antagonist. Interestingly, Margaret Hamilton's only in either 12 or 13 minutes of the entire movie. It's a 100-minute movie. A little over, I think. She's in about 10% of the movie. And yet, her presence fills that movie. In a similar vein to Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. He's only in 20 minutes, but you feel him there the entire time. And it's the same thing with Margaret Hamilton. And I think that's why she's so indulged into our psyche. And most Oz-related media has brought her back in most forms. She's there in Tin Man. She's there in The Witches of Oz. Her being back to life is the entire inciting incident in the 1990 Deke Oz series. Both Journey Back to Oz, well, she comes back to life in the animated Return to Oz from the 60s. She isn't there in Journey Back to Oz, but Mombi is. And Mombi is, in that film, basically is the same thing as the Wicked Witch of the West. She just happens to be called Mombi. Because without the Tib Ozma storyline, there's no real point to Mombi, other than her being a stand-in for the Wicked Witch of the West. But really, actually, the true antagonist, I guess, of the Oz series would really be the Gnome King, who first shows up in Ozma of Oz. You'll remember the Gnome King, those who have not read the books, from Return to Oz. He actually shows back up in 5 or 6 of the books, so he's really the closest thing the series has to an overall antagonist. But it's Margaret Hamilton's performance in the 1939 film that really indelled the witch into our psyche. She was not the first green-skinned witch, but she really set the trademark look of the witch in the pointed black hat and the green skin. And it's a fabulous performance. That's what largely inspired Gregory Maguire to write Wicked, which was not a big hit of a book in '95 when it came out. It was the musical that really turned it on its ear. And honestly, I do like the musical better than the book. The book has its moments, but the book is kind of dry and very political. But the musical I do greatly enjoy. So that's largely where... So the witch is really probably one of the best known in the zeitgeist. I know when AFI did their 100 years, or 50 greatest heroes, 50 greatest villains, she was second only to Darth Vader. And I would be inclined to agree there, um, to a degree. Vader is not certainly anywhere near as scary as the Witch. They're probably equals in terms of their presence in the world. Um, I mean, how often do you hear somebody say anything to its riff on, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too? So, that's Wicked. That's kind of little rundown on the Wicked Witch of the West that you may or may not have wanted. But the first piece I'm going to show is from the Franklin Mint. She's part of a set of 6, and I have all 6. But it's from the Wizard of Oz teddy bear collection. Oop, there we go. She's a little green bear in a black dress, and there's not a lot of definition that you're going to get out of my crappy webcam, unfortunately, but she's actually costumed very, very movie correct. Let's see if maybe that helps. No, not really. Okay. She's got her little corset and her little potion, or her little magic satchel bag. And she's obviously her dress. She's got her cape and her hat with its long sash. And her broom. The broom is really the only thing not movie accurate on here, but I'm not sure that you could have done anything to make it movie accurate. And yeah, so she's just this little adorable green bear. So, and I got the set as a steal. They were originally, I paid like $45 for the set, and originally it was like $45 per bear. So, yeah, and she comes on a little yellow brick road stand. So there are the other, and it's obviously the 4 friends and the 2 witches were what they did. But there we go. There's my Wicked Witch bear. I think she's adorable. So, there you go. There's the start of Wicked Witch October. So, Stitchy Box is coming. The next, just the threads, I think ships in the middle of the month. So that'll be coming. The thing from the Silver Needle, I think I get another one this month. I just don't know when. Yeah. I think that's everything. So I hope everyone has a great start to their week, and I will see you all soon.